Oh shoot, that's loud. Okay. Since it's being radio simulcast, like I will count down from 10 to start. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to TNC Media's coverage of Ohio Athletic Conference women's basketball from the Reich Center in Westerville. On January 18th, only 2 points separated the Otterbein Cardinals and the Mount Union Purple Raiders. 3 Otterbein starters scored at least 10 points in that game, but freshman point guard Anna Sweeney's 20 points were enough for Mount Union to prevail 66 to 64. Now on their home court, the Cardinals want to avenge that tough loss to improve to 500 in the OAC. I'm Jacob Russell alongside Andre Bradley. Andre, how does this game impact the playoff picture in the OAC?
Today's matchup really serves as a pivotal game for both of these teams who are looking to get that 4th slot come tourney time, be able to host the first round matchup. It should be a good one as the window starts to close on this season in her collegiate career. Anxious to see how Abby Scholes comes out and performs today. She's coming off a monster 17 point, 16 rebound, double-double Wednesday in a win over Wilmington. We'll see if she can continue to ride that momentum today in the Reich.
You were talking about, obviously, with this 8-team playoff, both these teams are looking for a top 4 seed. As of now, the Cardinals are at 6 and 7. That's 5th in the 10-team Ohio Athletic Conference. Mount Union, they are 5 and 8, which puts them in 7th. So right now, it definitely seems like both these teams are favored to make the playoffs, but it's best to be on your home court, and Otterbein obviously is on the home court today and hope to make up for that loss to Mount Union back on January 18th. Now my question to you is, how have these two teams looked in these past 2 games, and what does that say about what we'll see today?
Lately, it just seems to me as if they're both coming off a win. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Wednesday, they both picked up pretty quality wins. Mountain Union picked up one over Muskingum, who Otterbein still has to play a second time, so that'll be a key. I just think whoever wins this game creates a little bit of separation. It's a resume booster to, like you said, who can host that 4th seed, hopefully, between Capital, Otterbein, Marietta, and Mount Union.
So you're talking about the 4 hosting teams. If you look at the conference standings, to me, the top 3 are pretty well cemented. You have Baldwin Wallace and John Carroll tied at the top at 12 and 1. 3rd is Ohio Northern, and then 3 through 5, Capital, Otterbein, Marietta, all tied at 6 and 7, with Mount Union and Wilmington at 5 and 8, and then Heidelberg and Muskingum, I think, have solidified themselves as the 2 teams who won't be making the playoffs this season at 3 and 10 and 1 and 12. So it'll be interesting to see who plays who in the last 4 games of the conference schedule, and who happens to take a fall at the wrong time. But we will be right back after the national anthem. Thank you for tuning in to TNC Media. So, as we were saying, for the national anthem, this game is crucial for deciding the fourth, uh, like first round host in the conference tournament.
The key with that said is right now Otterbein definitely has cemented themselves as a chance to end up hosting, like you said. If they were to drop this game, that has them and Mount Union tied with the same record, and because Mount Union has won both games, they will own that tiebreaker. So it could push Otterbein as far down as like a 6-7 seed, which is why this is such a pivotal game, like I mentioned earlier.
Although I'm curious, so as we go through the starting lineups between these two teams, first up is Mount Union. So to my knowledge, this is the same starting lineup we saw last time Mount Union played Otterbein, and a key player off the bench in that game, as I mentioned, for Mount Union was Annika Sweeney, so she will start on the bench once again today. So we'll see if she has the same impact. But as I was wondering, if we look at the Otterbein schedule after this game, the last four, you have matchups against Ohio Northern, so a top 3 team, and then you have Muskingum, so you have to figure that's a win. But then they end the conference play against John Carroll and Baldwin Wallace. So this is definitely a tough back stretch for the Cardinals, which to me makes this game even more important.
As a competitor, whether you're a coach, player, fan, you're supposed to treat every game like a must-win or must-win for the most part. But I would go out on a limb and say this game may mean a little bit more to Otterbein just in terms of who they have to finish up this year.
Notable start for Otterbein is Bryn Mangold. So Mangold obviously started on Wednesday against Wilmington, but she was injured in the first quarter of Saturday's game up at Capitol, and she did not return to that game, but she only missed one full game and is back in the lineup, replacing Kathleen DiCarlo, one of the 2 season-ending injuries for Otterbein. First possession of the game is 3 points for Mount Union from number 12, Madison Hensley, a freshman guard. Otterbein inside to Bryn Mangold. It is off the mark. Mount Union heads the other way. Taking the ball up the court is Sarah Hessel. Mount Union being more patient this possession. Looks like they have a lot of space on the perimeter, but the shot from number 3, Elena Au, is off the mark. She enters this game as the top scorer for the Purple Raiders at 14.3 points per game. Looks to be turnover number 1 for Otterbein. On the fast break, that was a quick score by Sarah Hessel. And the full court press is now on for Mount Union.
With the Raiders pressing, it's going to be interesting to see how the Cardinals handle that pressure. The ball is the program, so you do not want to turn the ball over. Keep the ball out of the corners is really key here.
So Otterbein, so the last women's basketball game I called, as I say that, number 20 for Otterbein, Jenna Hoschauer, scores in the paint. But the last women's basketball game I called, they faced this full court press coming out of Wilmington, actually, and they were able to beat that full court press once again on Wednesday. So it's certainly not out. Although I believe they lost the first Wilmington game, they did, but obviously on Wednesday they got the win. So maybe they've cracked the full court press. But as I say that, Otterbein takes their first timeout. First-year head coach Ayanna Knowles clearly isn't happy with the transition defense coming from her Cardinals. It's 10-2 Mount Union with 7:50 left in the first quarter.
Just kind of appears that the Cardinals came out sleepwalking today. Very slow start. We'll see if Coach Knowles can get the momentum boosted up with this 30-second timeout.
And also what's key for Mount Union is shooting 2 for 3 from 3 to start this game. Obviously, that accounts for a majority of their points so far. Mount Union and Otterbein come in at about identical 3-point percentages, 35.3 versus 35.1. So Otterbein is poised to at least match Mount Union from 3 today. Of the 10 Mount Union points thus far, the leading scorer is Sarah Hessel with 4. Inside the paint goes number 4 for Otterbein. That is like Abby Scholes. So now she's headed to the line after a foul.
I think working the inside game with Scholes and Mangold is going to be essential for the Cardinals. Make sure that they can try to get back into this.
And that, I think, is something you can look. So for me, when you look at the leading scorers for both of these teams, you definitely notice a trend. So Otterbein's leading scorer, like Abby Scholes, is listed like as a forward, while the Mount Union's 2 top scorers are both guards. So there's a focus on the backcourt when it comes to Mount Union's scoring, while Otterbein is going to focus more on the paint. So we'll see which team can perform their style the best today and score the most points.
The key with having a front court like Mount Union's based, or a front court like ours based on Mount Union's backcourt, is the Cardinals cannot allow the Raiders to get any second chance points where the ball can get back out to those guards, make some threes. It's going to be very important that Scholes, Mangold, any other people in the front court really rebound and clean up the glass today.
32 from deep for Otterbein. Off the mark, Peyton McCord drops the rebound. Transition defense, once again, important for Otterbein. The shot was off the mark, although I will admit transition defense was better that time around. So Peyton McCord, presence in the game, to me, is interesting. That was a rather quick substitution from Bryn Mangold. It's obviously not too uncommon with, with that position. But Peyton McCord really did impress me on last Saturday at Capitol. She led the team in points and also in rebounds. Even when Bryn wasn't in the game, obviously Peyton McCord got all those minutes, and she definitely made the most of them. So expect McCord to get a lot of minutes today. Both I believe that was 1 for 2 free throws for Otterbein.
With Scholes inside, drawing contact, it's going to be important on this last stretch of the season to make sure that capitalizing at the free throw line. 3-4 today, 60% on the year. So let's see if she can improve that heading into the OAC tournament.
From deep, it's no good, but Mount Union gets the rebound. Put back is no good. Number 28 for the Purple Raiders is headed to the line. Correction, 20. Brianna Gassman, a junior forward. So we talked about free throws entering this game. Mount Union, 68.7% as a team. Otterbein, 66.8%. Gassman makes the first. And it goes 2 for 2. So to start this game, Mount Union 3 for 3 from the stripe. Otterbein, 2 for 2 for Mount Union, 3 for 4 for Otterbein.
Another thing I'm excited to see is how Otterbein continues to move this press. I've noticed that we have both up around half court. It'll be interesting to see if we end up sending anybody as a rim runner waiting down patiently to get that pass full court.
Otterbein has less than 10 seconds to shoot. Getting it inside to McCord. She scores inside once again. Saw her 10 points at Capital. Jumper from 20 on Mount Union is good. That is Gassman, who just went 2 for 2 from the line. Gassman now with 4 points. Otterbein stretching the court. McCord inside and good. So is scoring inside like that what you have to do in order to beat this full court press?
I would say so. Another big key as 4 knocks down to number 3 is
Like Annika Sweeney for Mount Union, who enters this game as the 3rd best shooter from beyond the arc.
But as we mentioned, another key is we have to make sure that you hit the diagonals. You want to make sure that you protect the ball at all costs, but your plays to really score are going to be the diagonals across the court where your teammate is open.
Great transition defense and great fast break points for Otterbein. That was Jenna Hoschauer on the block, and she was able to get the assist to Haley Bauer.
I've been very impressed with how Mount Union came out shooting the ball today. It just seems like it's like throwing a rock in the ocean. They can't seem to miss.
Yeah, right now they are 7 for 12 from the field. That is 58.3%. Otterbein starts on the perimeter. Inside is Bauer. McCord not going to take the wide open jumper. Instead, Bauer will drop the pass. She had a shot there, but she'll take one from the middle and be off the mark. Ball goes to Mount Union. Peyton McCord just missed the rebound there. Score is 19-12 Mount Union with 3:41 left in the first quarter.
And McCord passing up that open jumper makes sense right now, having that she doesn't really seem to shoot outside much, but that's something I'll definitely look for her to improve in between her sophomore and junior seasons.
Mount Union scans the perimeter. Number 4 from deep. Getting an unlucky bounce there, but rebound will give the Purple Raiders a second chance. A block by Bryn Mangold, but when she recovered the ball, she stepped out of bounds, so it will be Mount Union ball. Less than 10 seconds to shoot for the Purple Raiders. Number 2 with the ball with 3 seconds remaining. And that shot must have been tipped, was not even close. What happens when you don't leave yourself enough time for a quality shot?
That's a great job by Mangold coming up out of the paint to contest the shot as shot clock winds down.
Well, what definitely helps if your Mangold is knowing that Mount Union has to shoot and knowing that you aren't going to get faked out. If you go for the block, 12 from deep for Otterbein. That's short, like Angelia Jackson. Mount Union is headed the other way. They'll get it inside and beat the double team. I remember that being a struggle for Otterbein defensively, is they never sent help inside in some of the previous games I've called, but it's nice to see them going for that today.
A big thing with that is it doesn't always have to be the home run play. If you dig in like that, it's mostly just disrupt the offense, take some more time off that shot clock where they can't really get the good shot that they're looking for.
About 10 seconds to shoot. 12 from deep, just off the mark. But luckily, it'll reset the shot clock for the Purple Raiders. Number 2 to the basket, passes it to Elena Raul, who will I believe, score definitely not her first points in this game, as we all expected. She now has 5 points, which leads the Purple Raiders.
Have to see if she can get up to her average. She's averaging 14 points a game, shooting about 40 from the floor, so she's definitely your key factor for the Raiders.
Otterbein with the inbounds. Pretty simple play there, but the shot is off the mark. Fast break. Shot all the way across the court for Mount Union. Mount Union is not afraid to shoot from deep, and I think it's cost them in the recent minutes. Otterbein from 3, that is, look at Haley Bauer. Now Mount Union from deep, that one's off the mark.
If you're Coach Knowles and Otterbein, you have to live with these shots. Law of averages say they're only going to make about 35% of the threes that they're going to shoot. So if they're willing to keep throwing them up there, you just have to be willing to box out and get the defensive rebounds.
Yeah, both teams are shooting 33% from 3. Otterbein on 6 attempts, Mount Union on 9. Full court press. Otterbein will retain possession, even with the tip pass. Haley Bauer definitely struggled to get past 2 defenders before she could even cross half court. Number 25 for Otterbein takes on multiple defenders and scores. That's freshman forward Danielle Horsley. Mount Union on the other end, deep for 3. That is Madison Hensley, freshman guard. Hensley now has 6 points. She's 2 for 4 from 3, which is all of her shots from the field in this game.
About a 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock. You have to imagine that Otterbein should try to hold this ball as long as they can, restrict Mount Union from getting a clean shot off.
Yeah, so 25.9 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Mount Union with the 7-point lead, 24-17. Looks like Otterbein will hold the ball here.
No need to rush at all. Take your time, get a couple paint touches, see if we can work inside out.
10 seconds to shoot. They had all kinds of time and they ran out of it. Mount Union the other way. Great spin move by Madison Hensley. And she will pass it to Corinna Maynard, but her last second shot will go off the mark. So at the end of the first quarter, it is 24-17 Mount Union. To me, what stands out about this game, I can't remember if we get fast break points or not. We do. So Otterbein actually has 6 fast break points. Mount Union with 5. I am shocked that Mount Union doesn't have more fast break points than Otterbein based on what we just watched.
I am too, and if I'm the Lady Raiders coach, I can't be happy just knowing that the whole purpose of a press is to slow down the pace, try to avoid all those fast break points, I should say. So that's something I'm sure that she's probably emphasizing in her huddle that they need to try to eliminate to continue to grow this 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter.
So to me, like, what worked so well early on with Mount Union when they were so confident speeding up the game is they were speeding up the game so they could get wide open threes. And early in the game when they started 2 for 3 from 3, that was working really well. Well, now they're 4 for 11 from 3. So they've come back to earth a little bit. So you have to wonder if they stick with these low percentage shots.
I It seems as if that seems to be in the scouting plan for them. I will say Annika Sweeney's shooting 42.5% from three. She is one that absolutely, if she's open, she needs to continue to throw them up there.
Otterbein scopes from the perimeter, looking for a way inside. That's 32 for Otterbein. Abby Zirkle, who gets the points inside. A Mount Union Purple Raider is fouled on the other end. And now number 3 will head to the line. Like Elena Rao.
I have to assume Coach Knowles is telling her players about getting back. Even on makes, that just gives Mount Union a chance to outlet the ball and get the ball moving up court. So have to have somebody back protecting the basket at all costs.
Rao makes the first free throw to get her 6th point. Take the lead on her team there. She will with 7. Both teams have continued to shoot well from the free throw line. Number 20 for Otterbein going for the 3-point play now on the play. Or who are they calling the foul on? Looks like it'll be foul on Otterbein, actually.
Looks like Souls might have been moving a little bit as she was setting that screen. That's huge just because that gives her her 2nd foul, coming as your leading scorer. We'll have to see how long Coach Knowles keeps her out to protect her for the rest of this game.
So Otterbein with 2 personal fouls, Mount Union with none, although obviously we're early in this quarter. Great juke move to get inside, but some great defense by Otterbein. Was a great juke move by number 3 for Mount Union, like Elena Rao. But then once she had the pass, her only way inside was through 3 Otterbein defenders. So a flashy play, but not able to get it done. This time she will not. Shot off the mark. Like, it is clear that they trust her with the ball, even though she's shooting 2 for 6 now from the field. Some fighting below the basket leads to a fast break opportunity for the Purple Raiders, and they will miss on the other end and get the rebound, set up a shot from 3. It's good. That's number 10.
Just seems to me as if Otterbein is really struggling to keep their people in front of them. It seems like they're in a scramble at all times, whether it's front court or half court. Look for them to make some adjustments, hopefully at the half, and get that defensive situation figured out.
Corena Maynard is number 10 for Mount Union, who got 3 on the other end. More fast break. Peyton McCord got beat there by number 21, like Icy Palamone for Mount Union, the sophomore forward. You have to wonder if Otterbein changes their personnel to a group that would be better on the fast break. Like, so, I mean, obviously, Otterbein traditionally, you know, runs with the 3-guard forward and the center personnel. So you have to wonder if they switch things up to have some more speed on the fast break.
I will say with Delaney Cutridge breaking her foot against John Carroll earlier in the year, she is an excellent defender, fast, speedy. So I think they're definitely missing that a lot, and that's something that's going to damper them the rest of the season.
Speaking of personnel, Otterbein right now has Peyton McCord and also Bryn Mangold on the court. You know, 2 of, you would argue, like the players you want in the paint for Otterbein, but maybe not on the fast break. So now I think is Mount Union's time to exploit the fast break, given who's on the court for the Cardinals. Although Mount Union tried to get in the paint there and lost, mainly because of who Otterbein has on the court. So you're seeing the strengths and weaknesses of Otterbein's current personnel in that play. McCord inside. The shot is good. McCord now has, I believe, 6 points. Yeah, she's 3 for 3 from the field. Bad pass there by Mount Union. Delays what would have been a wide open shot, but they'll get another one. That one's off the mark, and Otterbein gets the rebound. So Otterbein, it seems like they, given who they have on the court, they want to defend the paint and are perfectly fine letting Mount Union shoot these wide open threes because they haven't fallen for the Purple Raiders in recent minutes.
Came out really hot. They've definitely come back down to earth a little bit for the most part. Like I said, key with them shooting a lot of threes is that means a lot of long misses. So Otterbein has to box out, make sure they contain all those long rebounds.
So that was Abby Zirkle with the 3 on the offensive end for Otterbein. Bryn Mangold batted a pass out of bounds to get us to this inbounds play. That's something I find interesting about the kind of recent evolution of basketball where, teams are more willing to take these threes. Because when that type of offense is hot, you'll get what Mount Union got on Wednesday, where they scored 100 points. But when your shooters are cold, you'll find yourself scoring only 7 points in the first 5 minutes of a second quarter.
And that's the key. Basketball is definitely a game where numbers typically don't seem to lie too much. And to know that Mount Union shoots 35%, not horrible, not the best. So I think that you just kind of live with that as a defense and just wait for the law of averages to play out.
Well, so yeah, we talk a lot about averages in sports, but I'm someone who always enjoys looking at trends and also the splits between quarters and halves and things like that. So Mount Union misses another 3 there, and Otterbein will take it on a fast break. Mount Union from 3 was 4 for 11 in the first quarter, and they're now 1 for 3 in the second. So that's something to look at as this game continues. Because as this game continues, we'll have more splits to look at.
Big issue to me that I'm seeing right now is the 6 offensive rebounds for the Lady Raiders. That is something that's double of what Otterbein has right now. So like I said, it's just key that they box out, clear some space down there, and get in and go. It's a lot harder to press off misses than it is makes.
So for Otterbein, number 34 made both free throws. That is Logan Fox, freshman guard. The lead for Mount Union is now 3. Otterbein has outscored the Purple Raiders 11-7 this quarter. Rao has some great moves to get in the paint, but she keeps getting stripped of the ball in her once she gets to her target. We'll see if some lanes open up for her later in this one. 5 seconds to shoot for Mount Union. They can't get inside. Rao will throw up a prayer, and it'll go off the back of the rim. Otterbein on the fast break. Rao had the steal there, but it's dropped, and Mount Union will end up with the ball anyway, thanks to an Otterbein turnover.
Turnover battle right now is 2-3 in favor of Mount Union. We'll have to see who can control that and who continues with the least amount of turnovers throughout the course of this game.
It seems like they're have been more turnovers than that based on like how often we've seen these teams like on the fast break. But really, it's just been both teams being quick off of the defensive rebounds, which has kind of simulated a game with a lot of turnovers. Rao went for the steal there, overshot, but she won't pay for it. Otterbein's shot is off the mark.
What I like about that miss, though, is everybody on the Cardinals seemed to get back in defense. As you saw, Mount Union didn't really have an opportunity to push the ball right there, so we'll have to see if they can keep that up throughout the rest of this game.
Mount Union gets inside. 2 offensive rebounds this possession for Mount Union, but finally Bryn Mangold gets the defensive rebound to end things.
Otterbein is really missing Abby Scholes down there rebounding right now. She battles foul trouble. Have to imagine in the second half when she gets back in that she'll impact the rebounding game.
Yeah, Mount Union has 12 offensive rebounds. Like Otterbein has 3 offensive rebounds. That's certainly not what you're looking for if you're the Cardinals. Looked to almost be a turnover, but instead it's a foul on Otterbein's Danielle Horsley.
If you're Mount Union right now, you want to make sure that you go into half with this lead, at least maintain it. You don't want to give up what was at once a 10-point lead and lose all momentum going into the second half. Mount
Union's now shooting less than 30% from the field on the game. They'll go for another low percentage shot and get the low percentage result. Otterbein on the fast break with going the other way with 2.5 minutes left in the half. They're down by 3, 31-28. Otterbein gets inside. Shot is no good. They were quick to get a shot off there. As it's not turnover there. Looks like a 2-on-3 for Otterbein. And that is 32 who went for the shot rather than for the pass, so she could draw the foul. That is Abby Zirkle.
Zirkle did a great job right there, getting into the body with the Euro step, leaving no choice but to call the foul.
Zirkle has 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. She now has 6 points, shooting 2 for 5 from the field. And now 1 for 1 from the line. Make it 2 for 2. It's a 1-point game with just over 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Union searches from the perimeter for a ticket inside. They have less than 10 seconds to shoot, so they'll definitely shoot from range. It looked like Mount Union had a basket there, but the shooter stepped out of bounds before they could get a shot in front of the net. So Otterbein will have possession and easily beat the full court press that time. Otterbein quickly finds the way into the paint, kicks it back out to Danielle Horsley for 3. It's good. Otterbein has the lead. In terms of lead changes, so it says Otterbein's largest lead is 2 points. So I don't know if this is their first lead or not. Let's see. Largest lead time.
Really impressed how willingly they were to get back into this game. Up 2 right now. 2 free throws coming up. We'll have to see if we can stretch this lead out and continue to ride that momentum into halftime. Both teams shooting fantastic from the free throw line today. Mountain Union shooting 100%, where Otterbein's right now 87.5% on the day.
At the line for Otterbein is 32, Abby Zirkle once again. Zirkle will miss her 4th free throw in this short period. Otterbein now has a 3-point lead with less than a minute to go. About 30 seconds separate the shot and game clock. Mount Union, 10 seconds to shoot. They'll go for the net. It's no good. Otterbein had a fast break opportunity, but
if you're Otterbein right now, you're really in no rush. 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Have to just wait for whatever the best shot is on this possession.
They'll give it to Danielle Horsley, and she will be called for a charge there.
If you're Mount Union right here, you absolutely hold for one shot unless you're just absolutely wide open. 3-point deficit, get the best shot that you can, go into halftime, figure out some changes, come back out in the second half.
Well, knowing Mount Union and how they've played this game so far, I'm willing to bet that they go for the tie at the half. 10 seconds remaining. There's no open three just yet, although they definitely have a lot of good three-point shooters on the floor. 3 seconds remaining, and they'll call double dribble on Mount Union with 1.1 seconds to go. That might be the best defensive possession we've seen from Otterbein this game, and it could not have come at a better time.
It's a great team effort. Everybody showed, everybody was communicating, talking through screens. That's what you like to see if you're a coach.
I don't think she got the shot off in time. It wasn't good anyway. But Otterbein has a 3-point lead at the half. They made up the 7-point deficit they had at the end of the first with a 17-7 outscoring of the Purple Raiders in quarter number 2. Tell me, Andre, what you thought the difference was.
Otterbein's mainly the person I am.
Besides what we see here on the stat sheet.
I think to me what really stuck out a lot was Mount Union came out of the gate shooting really well, making a lot of threes. They've cooled off tremendously, not only shooting 26% from behind the arc while Otterbein is shooting 40%.
Otterbein's mainly the person I am today because they've given me the resources and the support to reach my full potential.
If they continue to do that, it will be detrimental, in my opinion, to this team.
Otterbein has made me who I am through all the opportunities to be involved.
Essentially all of the second period in foul trouble, so we'll have to see if that she can guard without fouling.
I have been able to meet so many different people from different walks of life.
The way she has all year.
Mount Union shot 10.5% from the
Otterbein
field
has made me into
in the
who I
second
am
quarter. So
by just giving me a lot of
that to me
opportunities that I don't think
summarizes
I would have had, by myself.
The
I'm a
score you
theater
see
major.
here at
Theater
halftime.
really taught me a lot.
My name is Jacob Russell.
Thankful,
I
being
have been
grateful for
commentating
the
alongside
experience
Andre Bradley,
really shaped
and
my Otterbein experience.
we will be back for the
My favorite
second
thing
half.
about Otterbein
Thank you
is
for
probably
tuning in to
just
TNC Media.
People. Where I've never been somewhere and met students talk about the way that they talk about Otterbein. People at Otterbein I think are really unique in the best way.
There is just such a nice, diverse group of people here.
There's something special about walking around and, everyone knowing your name and, just that real family feel around campus.
My Otterbein love story really started the moment I stepped on campus, and ever since then I've just felt like I've been part of this flock and have been able to thrive. The people that I've been able to surround myself with have 100% made me and made this experience exactly what I needed it to be.
One of my favorite Otterbein moments was being on homecoming court in the fall. It was really cool because I got to see anyone I cared about in my life came to Otterbein that day, and I got to see them, and they were celebrating my success here, and I got to represent the school, but also they were at one of the most important places in my life.
I co-founded the Promise House. It's been one of the most rewarding experiences during my college career. It's a community resource center and food pantry for students on campus, and I'm very fortunate to have had the opportunity and the support to start something that didn't exist my freshman year.
I think everybody at Otterbein that helped me to create this valuable 4 years experience. Also really appreciate my family for their generous support throughout the 4 years.
Erica Van Doff is the first person who comes to mind. She has just been such a mentor and a role model for me. Definitely the people in the Center for Student Involvement, everyone who has helped me as an orientation leader and kind of running that program, and has helped me in running Ottertune because I work very closely with them.
I would love to thank all of our donors and supporters and the Board of Trustees for believing in me and not even knowing me. I think it's crazy to think how much support I've gotten just to get to Otterbein.
I gotta thank my parents first and foremost for pushing me here even when I was focused on other places and other things. Secondly, my athletic training professors, the whole entire major. Joan Rocks, thank you so much for giving me so many opportunities. Connie Richardson, thank you so much. Thank you for the long talks that we've had in your office. Thank you for not letting me quit even when I wanted to, and how many times that I've ever said that to you. To the professors I've had over the last 4 years, thank you for your patience, and thank you for always opening your door for me, for always giving me extra help if I ever needed it. That will stay with me for a long time.
Only Otterbein has allowed me to be a dual sport athlete, a scholar in the classroom, and a leader on campus.
Only Otterbein has given me the experiences I need to help me realize that I can make a positive impact on the world.
Only Otterbein taught me to accept who I am.
Only at Otterbein was I challenged to learn more and do more than I ever thought possible.
Only Otterbein lets me be myself and a student leader for others.
Only Otterbein has allowed me to flourish, to finally find a place to call home, and to really excel in the things that I do best.
Your story doesn't have to end. As an organ donor, the good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives through organ donation. Sign up to give the gift of life after you're gone. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe, someone else will too. Sign up online today as an organ, eye, and tissue donor at organdonor.gov. It saves lives.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us, to bring us joy. A miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and 1 person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Are you ready? Action Team!
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
Before we were ever treated for breast cancer, we planned for life after breast cancer. We made the choice
that breast cancer would not take something away from us.
Unfortunately, not every woman knows her choices. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons is supporting the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act, a bill that will help make sure women who are facing breast cancer surgery are told about all their options. Help bring this important issue to light. Call your member of Congress and ask them to support the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A
A winning team. The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how.
Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org.
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine.
Fight for your mobility. Visit anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
My team depends on me. And my team is 50,000 strong. This is what it feels like to be part of a team. A winning team. The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
Help support the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act, a bill that will help make sure women facing a mastectomy are told all their options about breast reconstruction. Visit broaddayusa.org for more information.
When doctors told me I would never walk again, somehow I knew I would. Whether you need support in a tragedy or just to make it through a bad day, prayer can make a difference. America, let's come together by believing with each other.
I realized at that moment, these people really needed us. And I was going to make a difference, right here in my community.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That moment?
It was a moment that changed my life. I'd been training with my team for months, and now we had been called up for the first time. The real deal. Wildfires were getting dangerously close to homes. At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Help support the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act, a bill that will help make sure women facing a mastectomy are told all their options about breast reconstruction. Visit broaddayusa.org for more information.
When doctors told me I would never walk again, somehow I knew I would. Whether you need support in a tragedy or just to make it through a bad day, prayer can make a difference. America, let's come together by believing with each other.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
This is the richest and the most powerful country
And we are back with the second half of the Otterbein women's basketball team versus the Mount Union Purple Raiders. The halftime score was 34-31 Cardinals. I'm joined once again by Andre Bradley. Andre, which halftime stats best show the play we saw before the break?
A couple things that really stuck out to me were Otterbein holds a 14-6 advantage in points in the paint, as well as a 19-11 advantage in bench points. Mount Union in the first half shot 11 for 41, while Otterbein shot 11 for 28. It's honestly kind of remarkable that Otterbein is able to have a 3-point lead, considering they gave up 13 more shots to Mount Union. But the big thing for Otterbein is just crashing those defensive rebounds. Mount Union had a 12-3 advantage in offensive rebounds. You have to imagine with Abby Scholes back in to start this half, glass should be cleaned up a little bit better. Another thing that really stuck out was Mount Union's 2 leading scorers are not shooting the most efficient. Rao is shooting 2 for 11 from the floor with 7 points, and Hensley is 2 for 7 with 6 points. So they'll look to put the ball in the hole a little bit more efficiently this half.
Otterbein will start the second half with the ball, and they will start it with 2 points from Abby Scholes. On the inside, where, as Andre was saying, Otterbein has dominated the Purple Raiders offensively. Mount Union gets the ball inside, kicks it out for a wide open 3. It's off the mark. Offensive rebounds. 2 of them will give the Purple Raiders 2 second chance points in the end. That to me, so that possession you just saw from Mount Union perfectly summarizes what we've seen from them offensively. So they are finding these wide open 3s, missing them, but then getting all of these offensive rebounds. So although Otterbein on the offensive end has dominated their scoring, they haven't done much in the paint on the defensive end, and that's the biggest change they need to make here in the second half. Otterbein shoots from deep. They'll also be off the mark, but they will not match the offensive rebounding prowess of Mount Union. Purple Raiders inside, facing the triple team. They'll pass out of that and go back inside with 12 shot off the mark for Madison Hensley. Otterbein fast break. Something we've seen a lot in this game.
It's a great screen by Mangrove right there. She got her feet set and was able to lock in and set a nice clean screen to get the open layup.
Both teams have been quick off the defensive rebounds. And so even when the other team has scored, right, it's technically not a defensive rebound, but you're seeing them waste no time getting the ball back in play. 4 seconds to shoot. Mount Union tries to kick it back inside.
One thing that's really stuck out to me over the course of this game is first quarter, Mount Union was really pushing the ball. They were getting just about everything they wanted in the fast break, where second quarter and start of the second half, Otterbein's really been able to restrict them into the half-court game and play more 30-second type of defense.
Mount Union inbounds the ball, starts on the perimeter. Number 11 with the wide open shot in and out is the shot from Sarah Turley. A guard who I don't remember seeing much of in the first half. It's her second shot attempt of the game. She still has 2 points. Shot from the elbow is no good from Sarah Hessel. Otterbein will take the ball the other way. Otterbein almost took advantage of the double team there. They saw the opening. Abby Scholes was open because of a double team on Peyton McCord, but Scholes wasn't able to score. Player down on the court for Mount Union, but they let the Purple Raiders continue the possession and score. Looks to be a left knee injury for Elena Rao.
Not sure if she just went knee to knee there or what happened. I will say she did have a great rip through, which then allowed for a long missed cleanup to set up that three for Mount Union.
But she was able to get off the court by herself. So hopefully nothing too serious, because she has been a huge part of this Mount Union offense. Even when all her shots haven't gone in, they still kept going to her. Less than 10 seconds to shoot for Otterbein. Shoot from the shot from mid-range is no good. Mount Union is quick to transition. Wide open is 11. Off the front rim is Sarah Turley. We may see Turley in the game a lot more. If Rao misses extended time in this game. Playing that guard position that is taking a lot of shots.
One of the biggest things that's sticking out to me right now is Otterbein's really trying to play inside while Mount Union's willing to shoot those outside shots. Mount Union's able to clean up the glass a little bit better. Closer to the rim you typically play, the shorter the misses are going to be, where Mount Union's seeming to play from the outside, which means a lot of long misses. We need a lot of guards to go in there, fly in, crash the boards on both sides.
Peyton McCord scores inside for Otterbein. Cardinals now have a 4-point lead with 5.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Make it a 1-point lead as a shot deep for Mount Union cuts Otterbein's lead to 1.
It's a great catch and shoot by Glass. She had her feet set, ready to shoot, just a fluid motion.
McCord gets stripped of the ball inside. That was Sarah Turley who shot the 3 on the previous possession for Glass, who's just updated there. Haven't seen much of Kelsey Glass, but she just made an impact. Mount Union now has a 2-point lead with another 3. Bree Gassman with the last 3-pointer for the Purple Raiders. I was just about to mention the 2 for 10 shooting for Mount Union this quarter, but now they're at 4 for 12, 3 for 7 from beyond the arc.
I will say, even when they're missing, they do seem to shoot with a lot of confidence. Not sure if that's just a lot of skill worker drills that they do as a team together, but all 5 players, it seems like, on the floor at all times are willing to load up and fire some threes.
If you look at the totals, Mount Union has shot 26 of their 53 shots from beyond the arc. So a little less than half. Otterbein shoots about a third of their shots from beyond the arc. So it's clear where Mount Union's priorities lie offensively. Haley Bauer is headed to the line for the Cardinals. Bauer thus far has 6 points and 3 rebounds. Make it 7 points with the free throw made there. She can tie the game here. And she does. Nothing but net with the second free throw.
Both teams really shooting well from the charity strike. Otterbein's 9 for 11. Mount Union's perfect 4 for 4. Love to see that as a coach.
Mount Union is quick to score on the other end from 3, which is certainly the norm for them. Otterbein draws a foul on the other end. That was Kelsey Glass with the 3 for Mount Union on the most recent possession. That's definitely not her first this quarter. Glass is now 2 for 3 with 6 points. Peyton McCord headed to the line for the Cardinals. McCord with 8 points. She has 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 for 6 from the field. Peyton McCord will make the second free throw. It is a 2-point game. Mount Union quick to get the ball inside, but they were denied by Angelia Jackson. It is Jackson with the ball on the other end to start things off, but she'll give it to Bauer. Bauer runs the point with 20 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Quickly back to Jackson, but her shot at the net is denied. So Otterbein will have to inbound the ball. Double team is beaten by Abby Scholes, but the shot is no good.
Mount Union really does a tremendous job being willing to play, help, and leave your individual to come off and guard wherever the ball is. Ball is priority. I'm really impressed with how well they're willing to defend it.
So Scholes completely missed that very close shot there, which gave Mount Union the ball on this end. Mount Union almost lost the ball on an errant pass. That'll be a personal foul on 12. Angelia Jackson of Otterbein. She got her arm into the face of a Mount Union player as they both raced for the rebound. So Mount Union will inbound. Haley Bauer tips a pass there from Zanny Sauter. It's definitely a size advantage at that position right now for Otterbein. Zanny Sauter throws up a prayer from probably a third of the court. And it's just off the mark, but Mount Union gets the rebound, and Sauter will get the ball back in the end.
Otterbein's guards have to be willing to fly around and clean up those long misses. As a post, you're typically taught that you need to stay in between your player and the basket to be able to clean up all short misses. Guards have to be willing, like I said, fly around, clean up all long misses.
Mount Union gets what feels like a 4th consecutive possession. Foul called on Otterbein. It's on Scholes, her 3rd. Mount Union will sub in 2. Otterbein with just 1. So the last entry into, let's see, the last score in this game was at the 4:08 mark, and which means Mount Union spent about 2 minutes down there. With what seemed like 4 or 5 possessions, but Otterbein will finally get the ball back. Bauer was cutting to the basket, but the pass was just behind her. So it's another turnover for Otterbein. I know in the first quarter we talked about how the turnover totals were low for both teams. 7 for Otterbein, 5 for Mount Union. Peyton McCord gets the rebound for Otterbein. She sets up the fast break for Jenna Hoschauer, but she's denied on the other end. Now Mount Union will go for the quick score, and they'll get it. Elena Rao will now go for the three-point play. So Rao back in the game.
It's just a great effort on both sides by Rao. She was willing to step in between, ball in the basket, get a steal, take it coast to coast, get in the body, and put it up for a potential and one.
So Rao has 9 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. So very close to the double-double here. So now she has the 10 points. It's just 1 rebound short of that double-double. Mount Union head coach Susie Vanette actually has the program record for triple doubles. I believe that was 10. Both teams in this game have coaches who were great players at the schools they now coach at. It's always nice to see great players return to their alma maters. Peyton McCord nails the first free throw. McCord can get her 10th point here. She does. She's 4 for 6 from the field with 3 rebounds and an assist. You talked about how Otterbein's guards need to participate in rebounding more often. Otterbein's rebounding leader, funny enough, is Jenna Hoschauer, number 20, a guard. So she's been the exception to the problem for Otterbein. Hoschauer passes it off to Mangold. Oh, that's a pretty blatant foul for Abby Zirkle. And she smiled at the ref there. I don't know what that was about.
Rao may have really sold it. It appears that she really went flying. Not sure how much of an acting job it was, but certainly offensive foul to say the least.
Yeah, you saw Zirkle's front hand go into the chest of the defender. Foul on Hoschauer there. So Rao is headed to the line.
71% free throw shooter on the year. Curious to see if she can knock down both of these and extend this lead to 5 points as this third quarter starts to wind down. Have to imagine Otterbein will be in no hurry to throw up a shot. Probably hold for the last one here in this quarter.
So Rao, as we mentioned, is close to that double-double. Now she has 11 points to go with 9 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 block. Now has 12. Mount Union has a 50-45 lead. Heading into what will likely be the last possession of the third quarter. Pass is to McCord. Shot from Zirkle. Deep is off the mark. Bauer gets the rebound, shoots from deep, way off the mark, and that'll end the third quarter. So you talked about how Otterbein, should have or maybe will wait for a last shot and be patient, but they went for it. They had three shots there at the basket, but came up empty-handed. So it's 50-45 Mount Union with 1 quarter to play. Looking at the third quarter stats, Otterbein shooting 23% from the field, Mount Union shooting 30% from the field. Let's see. So Mount Union increasing their quarter scoring from 7 in the second quarter to 19 in the third. Otterbein drops from 17 to just 11. Looking at some other third quarter notable stats, Otterbein 0 for 4 from beyond the arc, Mount Union 4 for 10. Both teams shooting consistently from the free throw line, as we've said.
Really impressed with the fact Mount Union didn't turn the ball over a single time that third quarter. If you're Otterbein, you definitely want to try to force the hand, see if you can get any loose balls, whatnot. Otterbein turned the ball over 3 times themselves in the third quarter. So if you're Mount Union, you absolutely love to see that. Another thing that we've been talking about all game long is Mount Union just continues to control the offensive rebounds. They won the third quarter, offensive rebound advantage 6-3.
And in total rebounds, they have the 1 rebound edge, 12-11. Mount Union will start the fourth quarter with the ball. Rao with the ball, as she often does. Spin move is stripped by Angelia Jackson. She'll be defended from behind there. It'll be a foul.
Jackson has a great sense of awareness right now, knowing that Purple Raider defense will be coming up behind trying to swipe it. She just puts her body in front of the individual to draw the foul.
Otterbein takes the inbound straight to the point. And that was almost a made shot high off the glass. But instead, it's a personal foul on Mount Union. And it is Angelia Jackson heading to the line for the Cardinals. She's shooting 0 for 7 from the field. So 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. And so she's obviously looking for her first points here. She'll get it with the second free throw. Although Jackson has contributed 1 block and 1 steal.
Key with Jackson having a lot of experience as a starter, she has to know sometimes these games just happen, and try to figure out this fourth quarter, and if not, can't have this carry over game to game.
Now a Purple Raider is headed to the line. I believe that's 22. Hannah Schaefer. Oh, that's 20. My apologies. Bree Gassman. Gassman now has 9 points after those 2 free throws. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. 2 for 6 from the field. Some aggression in the full court press will lead to a foul. The ball for Otterbein will stay on the perimeter. Finally going inside is Jackson. Off the glass, it's no good. Mount Union will get the ball, as no one could collect the rebound before it went out of bounds. Mount Union shooting early and deep, and it will not pay off. as that was a quick possession that left them empty-handed, which certainly isn't like uncommon with this Mount Union offense.
They do a great job of moving without the ball. Their screeners seem to pop. They always have, or roll, they always have somebody to replace the roll. So it's no wonder they're able to get almost 33s up today. We'll just have to see what happens down the stretch and if they'll continue to try to force those up or take some time off with a 6-point lead here in the fourth quarter.
Otterbein with the inbounds. Number 4, Abby Scholes gets to the bucket for 2. Scholes missed the block there, but Otterbein will get the ball in the end.
Great spacing that last possession for Otterbein, allowing Abby Scholes to face up, look at the basket, find a hole, and get down and score the layup.
That was some great full court press defense from Corinna Maynard. Was able to bat the inbounds pass out of bounds. Haley Bauer is struggling in a double team about 2 feet from where she caught the inbounds pass, but Otterbein will eventually get the ball across the half-court line. McCord inside. The double teams will leave Bauer wide open. It's off the mark. So we saw 2 double teams from Mount Union that possession, but Bauer is not able to capitalize. She's now 2 for 6 from the field, 2 for 5 from beyond the arc.
That last foul is huge for Otterbein. Senior Abby Scholes is definitely somebody who's not afraid to bang bodies down there, but that leaves her with her 4th foul with a little under 8 minutes left to go. So have to see how long Coach Knowles keeps her out of the rest of this quarter.
Mount Union returns the ball to the center of the court. It'll return there with 10 seconds to go in the possession. The screen doesn't open up too much space, but the roll misses the wide open 3. But the offensive rebounding is good for the Purple Raiders. With the rebound and the putback is Kelsey Glass, but Peyton McCord was quick on the fast break.
She ran the rim perfect right there. They didn't sit back on defensive pout. She got straight down there, ran the rim, had a wide open layup as a result.
Peyton McCord, despite the position, not afraid to stretch the floor if she needs to keep Mount Union on their toes. Foul on Mount Union will send Angelia Jackson to the line for the Cardinals. The charity stripe is the only source of points for Jackson so far in this game. 0 for 8 from the field, with her 1 point coming from a previous free throw. Now she's 2 for 3 from the stripe. I am sure she's happy to get a chance to make a difference late in this tight game, even with her shooting problems. Must have been a lane violation there, as Jackson will get another shot at her second shot. She'll make it the second time, so that lane violation really cost Mount Union. It's a 2-score game with 6.5 minutes, or sorry, a 2-point game with 2.5 minutes remaining. 6.5 minutes remaining, 54-52 Mount Union, who got the numbers right in the end. Some aggression on this end between Angelia Jackson, number 12 of Otterbein, and number 10, Corinna Maynard for the Purple Raiders, but Mount Union will get the ball in the end. It's not the first time we've seen that kind of struggle for the ball, and it definitely won't be the last given the small margin separating these two teams here in the fourth quarter. Timeout, Mount Union. So Andre, we're about 4 minutes into this fourth quarter. Have you seen any adjustments from either team from what we've seen from them in previous quarters?
Starting off, I really realized how well Mount Union is pushing the ball. I will say it seems Coach Knowles has really gotten her team to emphasis getting back on defense.
So looking at the stat splits here for scoring in this quarter, Otterbein 7, Mount Union 4. Otterbein shooting 2 for 4 from the field. Mount Union is returning to their poor shooting ways thus far, 16.7% and 0 for 4 from beyond the arc. If you're rooting for the Raiders today, hoping that they can heat things up from 3 late in this one, because we know they're going to go for those shots. Rao went for a shot in the paint there, off the mark. So Otterbein will get the ball and once again have to fight this full court press. But they've showed they can defeat it. You know, they fell victim to it first time they played Wilmington, and they defeated it the second time. But Peyton McCord missed an opportunity there for 2 points, but she'll have a chance to redeem herself at the line. McCord, who saw significant time last Saturday at Capitol with Bryn Mangold's injury and played quite well, has also played well today. She leads the team in points once again, now with 14 points. 5 for 7 from the field, make it 15 points. So 5 for 7 from the field, shooting very well from the line. 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. Peyton McCord, a sophomore forward for the Cardinals. Certainly a player I can see contributing to this program long term. The shot deep for Mount Union is good. That was Hannah Schaefer, number 22. Otterbein will go for the 3 to match. It's no good. Some off-ball contact there, not called, between number 12 of Mount Union and Abby Zirkle. And that matchup will be focused on moving screen, I would guess is the call there.
Never fully got set.
That was on 31. Actually didn't catch the number of that one, but definitely a moving screen penalty. Or foul, I should say. Bryn Mangold with a bad pass there practically hands the ball off to Mount Union. That was Hannah Schaefer. Schaefer will now be headed to the line as she drew contact in the paint on the other end.
Looks like Coach Knowles has decided this is the time. She's going to put her senior out there with 4 fouls, hopefully to finish this game off. Been very impressed with how well Mount Union shoots from the charity strike. Have not missed one yet today. That is going to be very important as this game
11
starts to
for
conclude.
11. Going for 12 for 12 here. Oh, I'm pretty sure we jinxed that one. I'm not going to lie to you. We definitely jinxed that one. Okay, well, so during this game, we've talked about how well they've shot from charity stripe, but as soon as we put numbers to it, they missed that one. Otterbein scores on the other end to make this a 2-point game. And they have a chance to tie it here on the fast break. That's 20, Jenna Hoschauer. She's headed to the line. They'll call the foul on number 3 for Mount Union, which is Elena Rao. Hoschauer is headed to the line. Shooting 2 for 9 from the field, 4 points, but her biggest contribution has been like on the boards. She has 8 rebounds. She can tie the game here from the charity stripe. It's a
friendly bounce.
That was a very lucky roll in off the back of the rim. This is their first trip to the line of the game, so we don't really know what to expect. Didn't get the same lucky roll that time. Interested to see what she's shooting on the season. Hoschauer, number 20 for Otterbein, shooting 62.5% entering this game. From the line, Mount Union with about 10 seconds to shoot. They're still on the perimeter, but I don't think they mind that too much. Foul on Peyton McCord, her 3rd of this game. So Mount Union will get the inbounds. Shot deep from Rao is no good. She'll get her own a long rebound and go for, she was going in the paint, but instead Mount Union will kick it out for a second time. It's Rao again. Rao has been everywhere on this possession, but none of her shots found the bottom of the net. So the score will remain 58-57 in favor of the Purple Raiders with just over 3 minutes to go. Peyton McCord passes out of the double team, back to Hoschauer. Hoschauer kicks it out to Jackson. Jackson from the free throw line, it's no good. Mount Union had to lay out for the rebound there. Shot clock violation, Otterbein. The crowd wants some sort of foul call there on the tussle for the rebound.
I think they're asking for a shot clock violation there. I thought it may have bounced off the rim. Refs are just going to stick with the jump ball call.
Interesting turn of events there, but it definitely looked like Mount Union won the ball in the tussle they had there, but Otterbein will keep possession as jump balls go. Sort of a moral victory in the fight for the ball there. Peyton McCord was in no man's land on that inbounds pass, ended up being open. Hoschauer puts up the fist on her left hand. That's 32 from deep. The lucky bounce for Abby Zirkle off the rim, off the backboard, and in. Otterbein now has a 2-point lead with 2.5 minutes remaining in this one. Zirkle now has 15 points, leading the Cardinals by a significant margin.
Be curious to see what defensive adjustments both teams make down on this stripe. See if Mount Union is still willing to throw up these threes or if they're going to try to get back into this with a tie on an inside shot.
So Mount Union has scored 8 points in this quarter, which still beats what they put up in the second quarter. But if you're Mount Union, you're definitely doing the math, to see what you're on pace for each quarter, and you're not happy with the amount of points you have with the time remaining. They're going to call the foul on McCord there. I believe that's the 4th foul for McCord. Yeah, her 4th foul. So McCord also in foul trouble with Scholes. And I think trying to get the Cardinals in foul trouble is why Mount Union was so quick to get into the paint on that possession. The Purple Raiders have Haley Peoples-O'Neill at the stripe, starting center for the squad. She, let's see here, now has 3 points with that made free throw, but has 7 rebounds and 3 assists.
It's hard to believe Mount Union has led this game for 80% of the time, 30 minutes, compared to Otterbein has only led 6 minutes of this game. So if you're Otterbein, you have to take it how you can. If you're Mount Union, you have to be a little frustrated to know that you're down 1 when you've been leading this whole game.
Jenna Hoschauer at the stripe for the Cardinals. She makes the first. I mean, so, like, if we're being honest, the only lead time that matters is like who's leading when the clock strikes 0 in the 4th.
Absolutely.
Because when teams look back at this game, I don't think lead time is something you look at when you are the winning team. You know, you don't mind being the underdog for most of the game if you can get it done in the end. Peyton McCord with the inbound to Hoschauer. She'll win the foot race to the half-court line. (62-61) in favor of the Cardinals with just under 2 minutes remaining, although Mount Union has the ball. Thanks to a steal from Haley Peoples-O'Neill. Shot deep from 24 on Mount Union is no good. That's Kelsey Glass, a freshman who has been confident from the field. A foul on Mount Union will give number 32 for our remaining chance at the free throw line, Abby Zirkle.
Zirkle comes in today, 80% free throw shooter, shooting 3 for 4.
Looking for .16, she'll get it. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and a steal. Going for 17 points here. Although Peyton McCord is at 15 as well. So two 15-plus point scores for Otterbein. Certainly something you're happy about if you're Diana Knowles, because what you don't want is to rely too much on one player for your scoring. But Otterbein has had 2 options down low for scoring. So, with just under 90 seconds remaining, Otterbein has a 3-point lead.
If you're Knowles, you cannot emphasize enough how important it is to clean up all defensive rebounds here. You do not want to give any second chance points where they can come back and potentially even tie this game. You want to force them to one shot. If it goes, you tip your hat and get back on. Try to go score on offense as well.
Mount Union with the shot in the paint is good, so now they'll go for the three-point play to tie this one up.
Wow, a perfect 5 for 5 on the day. No bigger free throw than her 6th one here. That could potentially tie the game with just over a minute left.
Yeah, Rao, my apologies, is at the line, who is someone that we expected to be huge for Mount Union. And she has delivered. That's .17 for her. Leads the team by a fair bit. Although she is 1 for 7 from 3. So certainly she would love to have some of those shots back despite her high point total. Game is tied with just over a minute remaining.
Really to see, I'd be really surprised if Knowles isn't drawing up a play to get some type of inside touch here, and from there you can either work inside out or get the best open shot inside. So to see what she has drawn up down there on the board. Mount Union, same thing as we were talking about Otterbein. You have to make sure you clean up any misses that are here. Second chance possession here would be tough, especially the shot clock sets back at 20 seconds. So you do not want that if you're the defense.
A lot of timeouts in this last stretch of the game. Certainly not out of the ordinary. When the game is close like this, you want as much time to talk things over as you can get. Sort of a new head coach, obviously, for Otterbein, although Diana Knowles has been around the program for quite a while. A new head coach against a very experienced head coach for Mount Union, Susie Vanette. Jenna Hoschauer with the easy 2 points in the paint, but she can't celebrate for long. She has to get back on transition defense because of shots like that from Elena Rao. We're tied at 66. Sorry about that. We're tied at 66 with just under 40 seconds remaining. Going opposite the pick. Hoschauer drops the ball. Bauer ends up with it. She gets her own rebound. A second miss. They fight for the ball. We'll see what they call that. They're going to give Mount Union a possession with 14.5 seconds remaining. So that was a critical possession call there, and it goes in favor of the Purple Raiders.
The way that Rao's performed down the stretch here, I have to imagine that they are drawing up something for her to get a touch on this possession. If you're Otterbein, you have to be willing to show on all screens, look for the pick rolls, the pops. 14 seconds as hard as you got, go to overtime.
I mean, look, Otterbein had that clutch defensive possession at the end of the second quarter. So if they can repeat that and stop Mount Union from scoring, they would be happy with some defensive consistency. So after all the scoring streaks and scoring splits that we talk about, it all comes down to a tie game and just under 15 seconds. For as much basketball as we've seen, it pretty much all comes down to this. So Mount Union will get the ball on their offensive end. Inbound to number 10, Corinna Maynard. Not much time to shoot. 24 with the ball. Rao gets it. Someone's headed to the line for Mount Union, which certainly, and it's Rao. So if you're Mount Union, you are very happy with this because all you need to take the lead is one of 2 free throws, which if the law of averages says anything, you'll get. And you drained a whole lot of time off the clock, about 10 seconds, which means that if Otterbein has to throw up a shot, they don't have much time to do it. Rao in this game is 6 for 6 from the line, which is not what you want to hear if you're Otterbein.
If you're Mount Union, you love to see her at the line, though. She's led them all day. 17 points, make it 18.
You
and a
talked
1-point
about
lead.
how you wanted Rao to get the ball. Like, if you are Mount Union, you know, you're going to draw it up for her. This is one of the ways Rao can hurt you. She's definitely a complete player and can score in a lot of ways. She has the 11 rebounds, so she's more than just a scorer. She can score from the line. She entered this game as one of the team's top shooters from 3. Very complete player for the Purple Raiders, and she put her team up by 2 with 4.5 seconds remaining.
If you're Knowles, you have to stress 4.5 seconds in basketball world, that is plenty of time. You do not need to throw up just a horrible shot. You can get a couple dribbles and then throw it up. So to make sure you try to get downhill, even probably try to get a foul. If not, find an open shooter and see if they can knock it down and send it to overtime.
If I'm Mount Union, I am going to leave the paint. So okay, realistically, Otterbein goes for the win here, no? Or do you think we see some sort of play at the basket?
I think it could go either way. As a team, Otterbein shooting 35% from 3 on the year. Today shot decent, I would say. So I think it could go either way.
Yeah, Otterbein shooting 29.4 from 3.
I think one factor is with Abigail Scholes fouled out of this game, you do not have your senior for overtime. So I could factor into what kind of play Knowles called up here, seeing if we went for the win or the tie.
So Otterbein will get the ball on the offensive end. Ball goes to Hoschauer. Hoschauer to Zirkle for the win. And the roll is no good. Mount Union wins another game by 2 against the Cardinals. So Otterbein hadn't shot as many threes to date in this game, but they went for it there, and we're off the mark. So we have the game done there. Mount Union 68, Otterbein 66, which we were talking about the playoff picture at the start of the broadcast. So Mount Union, with this win, kind of cements themselves to the middle of the pack, but definitely the top of that middle cluster there. And Otterbein, obviously still in the playoff picture, you know, definitely still a top 8 team in the conference. But with that loss, you have to wonder what their probability is to host the first round of the conference tournament.
Tough part with that is now Mount Union owns the tiebreaker over Otterbein with 2 wins. So if they have the same record, Mount Union will indeed get that home seed for the playoffs. Mount Union does have to go to Capital, who they are now tied with, depending on their results today. So a lot of playoff implications here, but still a lot of season left, 4 games, a lot can happen. Otterbein can still get into that hosting as long as they take care of business these last 4 games of the year.
So that'll do it for us here from the Reich Center. I am Jacob Russell. Joining me has been Andre Bradley. Thank you for tuning in to TNC Media, and goodbye.